Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm. Friday, the 3rd of October, and the Premier League is back after a match week 2 of the Champions League. And the Premier League has already kicked off with Antoine Semenyo at the double as Bournemouth have come from behind to beat Fulham on the South Coast by 3-1. It is Arsenal who play West Ham tomorrow at the Emirates, a 3 p.m. kickoff, a rarity, and it's a game that I'm very much looking forward to. Thank you for joining. Tonight, we're going to talk about Jurrien Timber. The new contract is upon us. We're going to talk about Martin Ødegaard. The captain is back. He is so back. And we'll talk about Viktor Gyökeres. A lot of noise about him not scoring enough goals. But if you open your eyes and if you watch the football, you will see that he's doing more than enough currently as the Arsenal number 9. Want to get all your thoughts on that. So welcome to the chat. Welcome, everyone. Hope you've all had a really good week. Thank you all so much for your kind messages about Papa FK. He is on the recovery. He is at home. He is now on the mend. So thanks for all your blessings. Keep him in your blessings as well. Really, really appreciate that. Get involved in the chat. We're going to keep it active. And if you're tuning in for the first time, expecting a daily grind short show, this is a sort of relaxed session. You can take your time, bring a snack, bring a brew, and just tuck right into the elite content. We had a last-minute shuffle at the end in terms of guests. Yembele cannot make it tonight, so I've got a more than adequate and even better-looking stand-in than Yembele, so you guys are in for a treat. Dan was first in the house. It's Friday again. Evening, gentlemen. How are you all? We are well. I will allow the chaps to come on and just talk about them shortly. V Vlad says, good evening all. Hope your dad's doing better, FK. Thank you. Good to have Captain Wayne back. Come on, you Gunners. Wayne did enjoy the thumbnail today, and he did ask if the captain call was to do with him, but he is merely the Carabobbins of this show. I'll let him fire back shortly. Jizzle McDizzle, evening FK, and all. Last Sunday at Newcastle reminded me a lot of the siege mentality, 0-0 Old Trafford in 2003. Do I remember Kieran Van Nistelrooy? I live it, I breathe it, I drink it, my friend. Hoping the result galvanizes us. Come on, you Gunners. We've got some very, very tasty fixtures coming forward. We will have a look at what Uptra analysts think of those. Trevor Bibbins is in the house. Good evening to you. Viggs is in the house as well. He's convinced. Bring Semenyo to the carpet, he says. Hello, Ohio Rizlord. There you go. He spaced it out. Now I get it. I get it. I know you guys had a lot of fun about that a few nights ago. Leave Unks alone, right? Dave says, Dave says Gouda 73. Evening, Gooners, he says. Semenyo, another shout there. Says Jonathan K. Karen in the house. Welcome to the show, Karen. Hope you've had a fantastic week. Ford is here as well. DJ D10. So many familiar faces in the chat, and it's brightening up now. Arsenal grannies bringing the vibes. Things look brighter for sure. They do. Manny K is here as well. Says, evening, FK. Hope you're continuing to improve with his health and that he's feeling better. Obviously referring to my father. Asheen says, hello. DJ D10. Presumably this is about Viktor Gyökeres. Yes, it is all a bit over the top. So I want to get into the details as to why that noise exists and what we all think Viktor Gyökeres is doing. Wow, hundreds of you watching live already. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get involved in the chat. I will come back to the chat as I normally do, but let's bring in the first of normally 2 menaces, and it is his homecoming, his return. It is Wayne Bele. How are you, my man? And he's on mute. He's only been away for 2 weeks.
I forgot how to do this.
Forgotten the drill already.
I forgot how to do it. Yeah, the captain's back, you said, and that was a real Ødegaard performance from me there, not being off mute. So yeah, but no,
how have you been, man? Because it's been a big couple of weeks for you on a personal level. Moving house is always quite stressful and traumatic, but everything going well?
Yeah, it's all been good. It's going smooth. This is the first time that we've actually moved somewhere that's unfurnished, so it's been even more stressful and a lot more planning and preparation needed, but it's going well. I think we should be going into the house properly from tomorrow. We got the keys last week Friday, so was getting all of our boxes and stuff in on Saturday. Thankfully, an amazing moving company helped us with all of that. Didn't lift a finger. They done all of the packing. They done all of the moving. We just followed. Met actually helped me out with that, so thanks to him. And yeah, since then we've been doing our daughter's room. Sofas are coming in a couple of weeks, so yeah, the biryani nights will be soon at Casa del Wayne.
Oh mate, can't wait, cannot wait. I've just invited myself, but yeah, we will be there. Well, congratulations. It is a very stressful time. Good luck with all the flat pack furniture. You did send a very funny anecdote of you not touching DIY, obviously being the Tory that you are, but your wife spent a couple of hours putting in 4 nails.
Yeah, I don't know why she thought that building our bed would be a fun thing for her to do, but she enjoyed it, I suppose. Some people find that kind of flat pack furniture side of it like it therapeutic. I don't know what it is, but for me, no, I'm too pretty for that nonsense.
Yeah, listen, I used to do a lot of furniture assembly back in the day, starting my retail career at John Lewis, building wardrobes and stuff and beds at people's houses, got very fed up of it. Now you just got to
No,
pay.
it's not for me. My hands are way too soft.
Well, good luck with it. Welcome everybody joining the show now. Madeline is in the house. Says good evening to you, gents. Andy, evening FK. Best wishes to your dad and family. Thank you very much for that. Lots of people, very, very kind. Sam's here. Fantastic. Viggs is here. We've just covered Jeddah's Magoo, my new favorite username, Wayne. Thank FK. It's Friday. It is Friday and the weather has turned, but the weekend is upon us, Wayne. Very, very excited about tomorrow's game, a 3 p.m. kickoff at the Emirates. That is heritage. Looking forward to the match. So we're going to cover that tonight. I want to get your thoughts, Wayne, on the contract news. Jurrien Timber. You talk about, the skipper being back, but he is back and he's really, really important to us. I want to get your thoughts on the role that he might play this season and just what you made of his last couple of appearances, Olympiacos and Newcastle. Let's bring in our other guest now. Yembele couldn't make it tonight because unfortunately, his partner's not feeling so well tonight, so he's had to be a good hubby and be a good dad and take care of stuff around the house. We wish Mrs. Yembele well, of course, but stepping in, this is an upgrade of on all fronts, I would say, Wayne. But you would probably
I would disagree. I would disagree. Yeah,
he's better looking. He's quicker and more concise with his points. You could argue that his education of Arsenal is stronger. It is Metro. How are you, Met? And he's on mute as well. I don't know what's going on.
Your mic.
What's happening?
The mic was in front of your face, and now you broke it.
Oh my god! Yeah. God, I've done.
End the stream. Where's Yembele? Get him on the phone.
I've done a Wayne here. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh god. Yes. No. Thank you for having me back on. No, I'm so happy to be back. Like, obviously, in sort of bad situation with Yembele, but hopefully his wife is okay. But I'm here to step up. I'm here to give you the upgrade and settle that first team place and make it mine. So
I tell you what, he's setting the standards there, Yembele. That he has laid it down, mate. You have been warned. Listen, I would say normally, big shoes to fill, but now you barely sandals here that you got to fill. So,
I'm the guy that usually insults Yembele, so yeah, it's all good. So I know I'm better already, so it's all good with me.
Well, everyone's pleased to see Wayne back, so that's a good start. Andy says, welcome back, Skipper. Good news. Says, well. So you do remember us after all, Wayne? Yeah, he's on that Finalysis stuff. I thought maybe the celebrity life got to your head. Jizzle McDizzle says, new gaff, Wayne.
Yeah, next time I'm on, hopefully you'll see a couple of frames in the background because I've finally got an office. So I'm growing up. Do
you know, it's funny you say that. I am also, you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, Wayne, but I haven't got the awful, very ugly storage system behind me anymore.
Yeah,
actually, you can see the very top of my One Arsene Wenger shirt just to my shoulder here that's framed. I want to get it all hung up on the wall. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it. This is good. Jay, FK, highly recommend to listen to the latest Arsenal Vision podcast with John McKenzie. Yeah, he and Clive are fantastic on that. If you guys are asleep and have never heard of the Arsenal Vision podcast, they are, of course, the second best Arsenal podcast after Latte firm in the market. So do check it out. Talking of podcasts, the Can You Believe It? This is the Can You Believe It takeover. Give us a shout because prior to coming on air, you guys were recording your own latest episode.
Yeah, I mean, we were recording the Olympiacos review and talking about how great Martin Ødegaard was. So it was a great, enjoyable night for me, and not so enjoyable for Wayne because he hates Martin Ødegaard. So with a passion. So it was a really enjoyable recording. So yeah, please, if you've got some time, give it a listen. It will be up tomorrow. So yeah, and it's the second best podcast behind Latte Firm, right? Not an Arsenal Vision podcast. So we'll take that right now.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Listen, as much as we love seeing your face, if you could just turn your mic just a touch towards your mouth there, just to get you a little bit louder, that would be awesome if you can. But otherwise, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much. I love it, and it's soothing, says AP.
He's talking about the building. He's talking about the flat pack building, I think, at the time.
Oh, I thought he was talking about either our
Just
voices,
your voice. You're just talking about your voice.
or Wayne just being back, or Met coming in for. Just leave us guessing. Just leave us guessing. Right, the chat's gone wild, which is fantastic. There is a lot to get through today, but ladies and gents, boys and girls, let me know, what are you snacking on? We got to get snack check out of the way. So again, for first-time viewers, just a little bit of fun on a Friday night. We grab a little sweet treat or a savory delight, and we just basically tell the world about what we're going to do. And now with Yembele not on tonight's show, I've got a feeling we're not going to disgrace the human race. So let's start with Wayne. You're back. What you got for us tonight, big boy?
I have got, and it's something that I didn't actually really know existed until recently. And it's, again, I've said it a couple of times on these shows. It's one of the perks of having a kid. It's the little mini Maryland cookies.
Oh, they're good. Are they chocolate? Are they the chocolate cookies?
Double chocolate chip. Yeah. Little mini.
Mate.
You probably get about like five. You get like 5 in here, and it does say perfect for picnics. So it's just the right one.
What are you washing that down with? You got a brew? You got a coffee, or you just
no. Always the bottle of water. Always.
You got the water. Do you know what? Oh, get on brand. Buxton.
Buxton.
There we go. Sponsoring.
Sorry for Buxton.
I'm a Highland Spring guy, but Buxton, if you fancy sponsoring Latte Firm, I'm sure I can be convinced to change. Although that hasn't worked because I've already changed. Anyway, good snack, elite snack. You can demolish those. Let me know what you guys are snacking on at home. Metro, what have you got for us tonight?
So I have been a massive fan of these from Lidl, and so they're called Choco Fins, which are like sort of little crispy chocolate. They're sort of like the Pringle version of, but they're just chocolate. Yeah, they're just chocolate. It's amazing.
Are they just plain chocolate, or do they have little bits in them?
Yeah, so they have little bits in them. Let me open one and show you. So,
and as you do that, just going to bring up some comments, Matt. Russell's Heart in a Cage says roast with Vegemite and some melted cheddar on top. Wow, what roast? What meat are you having? Presumably you're having meat, right, with Vegemite.
I'm sure that does that not mean toast? Is that just a spell check?
Roast with Vegemite? I mean, to be honest, the snacks that we've had over the years, thank you largely to Yem. Nothing would surprise me these days. So come back to us. Let us know. Asif is having chocolate cake with custard. Chaps.
By the way, Russell's heart in a cage has come back and said toast.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a typo. What were we saying? Custard, hot or cold? And chocolate cake, hot or cold?
Custard hot, and then the chocolate cake cold.
No, both.
Really?
Sorry, both warm. Yeah, sorry.
What?
Both hot.
Nah, for me, it's got to be warm chocolate cake with cold custard. I love it.
That's vile.
No, what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? Behave yourself.
Cold custard. Cold custard reminds me of primary school. Just not nice. Like,
bring back Yembele. I've had enough, Jeff. Jim says it's snack check tonight. Border dark chocolate with ginger. Oh, mate, Jim, if you do yourself a favor, you probably know about this, but get the raspberry, the dark chocolate and raspberry border biscuits. They are sensational, especially when they are on specials. Wayne is back, says Tsay4422. Big ups, the Latte Firm fam. Thank you for that. Dan tonight has Cadbury's fingers. They are solid. You can never not finish the entire pack. Once you open them, if you just got to go for it. FM says salted caramel toffees with tea. Very good, very good. Met, come on then, talk to us. You're snacking already. Have they got sort of nibbly bits on them?
Yeah. So can you see that there? So yeah, they're very nice. So they do salted caramel, orange, and mint versions. So
don't tell Yem about the orange. That's like, that's a bit of Yem.
Yes, it's Achilles' heel. Mint though, that would be elite.
So I'm not a fan of mint. Why would you want toothpaste with your chocolate? Like,
you're not a fan of mint chocolate?
No, it's awful.
Not even a Magnum mint.
No,
or an After Eight. Viennetta.
A Viennetta I'll have, but not.
So you do like mint chocolate? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
No, I'm not having it. It just tastes like toothpaste. You're tasting toothpaste with your chocolate.
What have we done to this glorious channel? Sam says he's having a chocolate milkshake. Jason W says snack check for tonight. Chicken and vegetable dumplings. It's 4 p.m. here. Let us know where you're watching from, Jace. Really good to know. Karen. Oh yes, a Sainsbury's triple layered Victoria sponge cake slice with a cup of tea. I love that, Karen. Paul James says he's having wheat crackers, cheddar, and a glass of Chianti. Is that how you pronounce it? Chianti's what, wine? I'm assuming some sort of alcoholic beverage. Enjoy yourself, Paul. Louis says snack check tonight is chicken doner And kofta
Oh.
with bulgur rice. Yeah, mate. He's having a
He's talking
large.
to me right there.
He's having it large. How's this one for you, Matt? This came up a few weeks ago when Wayne was last on. Tuna with brown sauce.
Oh, tuna awful, but with brown sauce as well. No, awful as well. So
hold on. Tuna's awful. We've never had this conversation.
No,
tuna's awful.
Like you go into a shop, right, and to get a meal deal, and you choose tuna. You look at all those sandwiches and you choose tuna. There's something wrong with you. Like I'm sorry. What?
To be fair, when you've got all the meal deal selections in front of you, tuna is not your go-to. You're absolutely right. That is,
there's nothing wrong with a tuna cucumber sandwich.
No,
there's everything wrong. They're both those pieces of the sandwiches.
A Pret tuna and mayo baguette, on the other hand, I mean, it's a different level.
Yeah, but FK, we can't afford like a Pret like sandwich because they're like 12, 15 quid like per sandwich. So we don't know what that's like.
Double that and you're getting close.
Yeah.
Man in the Mirror says, how late am I? You're not late at all, man. We started late. We're just getting through the snack check, as you guys can see, and you guys know and love. First time viewers are probably thinking, when the hell are these boys going to talk about football? This is just the way we roll on a Friday night. It is as simple as that. O. Clark says, making an instant ramen with chicken gyoza, chicken karaj, egg, peanut butter, and onions, scallions. Sounds pretty good. Dan says, fingers, mint matchmakers. There you go. They're the ones you must. Yeah, they're awesome. And Jason is watching from Houston. Right, bring back Yem. He's had enough, says DJ D10. So let's talk about the football. Let's move away from the Snapchat. Thank you so much, ladies
Where's yours?
Boys and girls. Oh, mine. So I've gone just really simple, very classic. I thought, you know what? I want something light. I want something ordinary and just nice and easy. Nothing too fancy. Does the job. Jurrien Timber, 8 out of 10. Just a classic dairy milk.
Yeah,
no.
You can't knock it. It's absolutely elite. And it's just the perfect size as well. It's a little multi-pack small bar. So, 4 pieces in there. That'll do me a right treat. Oh, Jizzle McDizzle. Tuna and cheese. Yeah, mate. The tuna melts. Tuna paninis. Sensational. Good news is having coleslaw with crispy chicken. Oh, I wish I was having that.
Oh,
why does it look so small? Dan, don't start, please. Right, let's move on to the football. So welcome, chaps. Welcome to the viewers. Hundreds of you watching live, right? So, Jurrien Timber. These images courtesy of Twitter. You can see on the right-hand side, someone has cobbled together some screenshots of Mr. Consistent. That is how I like to describe him. Wayne, as your first time back in a couple of weeks, the news has broken today. Sammy Mockbell of the BBC confirming, and then Hand of Arsenal verifying that Jurrien Timber contract talks are up and running. Arsenal want to secure him. Arteta and Andrea Berta are getting down to business, and hopefully Jurrien Timber wants to stay at Arsenal. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought was, what the hell was Edu doing for the amount of time that he was in charge of this side of things with Arsenal? Because Timber's only been here like a day. And we're already talking about conversations of contract extensions for him. And honestly, it's thoroughly deserved because his performances since day one, and I know he missed a year through the ACL injury, coming back, he's just been fantastic. And I think the fact that he's come back from a serious injury, got thrown in last year, having to play basically every single week because Tomiyasu was still injured. Ben White still wasn't there fitness-wise last season at all. And you can tell that those injuries are still kind of taking their toll on him. He's come back from a serious injury, and for me, is the best right back in the world. When you think of all of the right backs in world football, who's better? I can't sit here consistently and say that there's someone better than him. Like Trent has more quality on the ball, but you can't defend like Timber. Hakimi's up there, definitely. So it's probably between him and Hakimi for the best in the world, in my opinion. But like that graphic shows, he's just missed the consistency. And he just does it in all types of ways. Like we played obviously Newcastle last weekend, and Timber has my favourite moment of the game, where he broke the ankles of both Bruno and Joe Linton. You get 2 brutes that don't know how to play football up against a pure footballer, and that's what happens. You just get embarrassed. And yeah, he's just phenomenal. He's a wonderful player, and I think that a contract extension for him is thoroughly deserved from his point of view. And I just give a lot of credit to Berta for getting it done proactively, because we don't need to have this conversation with Timber so soon. But we are, because A, he's a valuable part of the squad. and B, he can be this good for the next 5, 6, 7+ years.
Matt, I want to ask you, because I'm a little bit surprised as to the timing of this. Obviously, everyone wants to sign down our best players and tie them down, but Jurrien Timber, 24 years old, arrived in the summer of 2023. First season obviously ruined because of the anterior cruciate ligament injury that he suffered. I think it was the opening game against Nottingham Forest where he went down and sort of we didn't see him the entire season. I think he made maybe one game right at the back end. Last season, 51 games, 24-25, his first full season. And he's contracted actually until 2028. So it's still another 3 years away. Now, this could just be maybe a pay rise reward, just to kind of reward him for all of the service that he's done so far and because of the potential that he's got. And obviously, if we can extend by another year, 2 years, this is one player that I would have absolutely no hesitation with Arsenal saying, here's an 8-year contract. Just sign it. I mean, so the question to you is, the timing is a bit weird because he's got 3 years to run, but it makes sense because he's so bloody marvellous.
He's an incredible defender, and he's one of the best fullbacks in the world, especially defensively. And when he came in, there was sort of here and there about is he going to be like sort of second choice to Ben White, and are they going to rotate? But he's the undisputed right back now, and I don't think enough appreciation for what he has done from last season to now is being given to him. I think coming back from that injury, you get in your first competitive game for your new club, and then to come back from that injury, you missed the whole of the season, to come back and to perform at that level that you have been doing now for the whole of last season and then this and start of this season is astonishing. And I think it's fully deserved. He's and I think I'm glad that we are getting it done. I echo everything Wayne's saying. It's better to get it done early. The timing, yes, it is a bit weird, but I would rather get it done early than do what we did before with other players and let them go into the last year and we end up overpaying them. At this point, we are getting it to it right now, and who knows where we would be in 2028. So it's better to get it done now, secure his future, and we can just roll forward and move forward with him inside, and hopefully the right back for many of a year.
Let's hope so too. Dave says he's probably just getting a big pay rise, deservedly so, but hopefully we add on a year or two, Dave, to the contract. James, I love this. Sign up his pirate brother. Shiver me. His brother Quentin is actually there, and he does play. I don't actually know what position or if he's any good, but the fact that he's associated or related to Jurrien Timber is probably worthy enough. The beauty of the pencil says, greetings, Latte Firm and your guests. Salute to the chat members. Welcome to the show, man. Really appreciate it. I'm in trouble. He's back. Caught this tonight. It is good to catch you in the chat as well, man. The chat is going wild, which is fantastic. He says, the podcast keeps me going through the day. Thank you. And you guys keep me going through the night. I love it. Let's move on. Jurrien Timber. Let's hopefully we sign him. That is the right back position with Ben White secure. And I can't wait to see it. What a fabulous servant this guy has already been. And what a remarkable summer Andrea Berta has had in terms of contract negotiations. We've had William Saliba just in the last few days. We've had the young prospects signing up. We've had Gabriel Magalhaes earlier in the summer. The future is looking good for Arsenal Football Club. Talking of the future looking good, what's also is important, Wayne, we talked about Eze and Martin Ødegaard, and there was a late night lounge. I can't remember if you were on it actually. Was this the last one that you did? We were talking about the fix and what we needed to do from a creative perspective. Was
no, I think I missed that one.
Okay, well, in that case, use this as a refresher. So we were talking about chance creation, and we were talking about how Arsenal have been sort of, I guess, criticised for having the lowest XG from open play and all that sort of nonsense. We are, of course, a set piece kings, and there's a slide coming up on that. You'll be pleased to know. But the question was, how do we solve it? Is it Martin Ødegaard getting back fitter, fresher, freer? Is it Eberechi Eze, obviously the guy that we've just gone out and spent £68 million on? These are some of the stats, courtesy of Mizgan on socials. And you can see that as a combination, they would both be very, very mouth-watering in the starting 11. So Eberechiesa, obviously much, much superior performance last year in terms of goals and assists, non-penalty XGs, obviously as well. Key passes, Martin Ødegaard is king. Percentage of passes into the opposition box, Ødegaard is sensational at that. And open play shot-creating actions. But then when you think about take-ons and percentage of passes being progressive and carries into the opposition box, Eberechiesa is king. And I guess this kind of leads me on to the conversation, and Wayne, just sticking with you, the captain is back, and we saw in a 19-20 minute cameo at St James's just how great he can be on the ball, the way he just opens up defenses, and the performance on Wednesday night against Olympiacos proves, you know, it is Olympiacos. They're not the toughest team in Europe, but it is at the Champions League at Europe's top table. These are some of the stats from the night. I think he's back. And Wayne, tell me how you feel about seeing the skip back in the team.
Seeing him perform at the level that he did against both Olympiacos and that cameo against Newcastle was just exceptional. And I think it's something that we've needed as a club and as a team for a while, because the thing that made me most happy and the thing that made me smile the most about that Olympiacos game was the through balls he was playing. Like the one quick one to Gyökeres to get him through on goal. The first time pinged pass out to Miles Lewis-Skelly to create that Martinelli chance. The through ball at St James Park to Miles Lewis-Skelly to hope, well, potentially get that cut back across, which was well defended by Newcastle. When Ødegaard's moving the ball quickly, when he's setting the tempo, there's no one better than him now that Kevin De Bruyne has kind of moved on. Like he sets the pace for us. He suits what we try to do in this midfield, and he's been down performance-wise for sort of 12 months or so last season, and a lot of that I think was down to the injury and the fact that I don't think he was fully recovered. I think we rushed him back quite a bit. But on the point of Eze, I think Martin Ødegaard being back isn't just because he's fit, healthy, and we've got a good squad around him. He's one of those players that plays better when there's footballers around him. And the real positive thing for me that I saw during that cameo at St James Park was how much he linked up with Eze. And they were both central. They were both playing you touch, I touch. They were trying to break things down. And they both offer each other things that the other one lacks. They both cover for each other's deficiencies. Eze likes to get close to goal. He likes to have those shots. He likes to score goals. You saw him against Newcastle very close to the striker, getting in and around the box. And yeah, Ødegaard had a season of doing that, but I wouldn't really say that that's his natural game. Whereas Ødegaard is much better picking the ball up from deep, dictating the play, spreading those passes, playmaking. Those two together is just a fantastic prospect. And I said to Matt just before we jumped on here, the biggest compliment I could play both of them is they would be two types of players that Wenger would sign and would play together in a Wenger system. Now, granted, a Wenger system probably wouldn't be as solid defensively as we are now, but the way that they play football, the way that they create chances, the way that they break down the opposition, you can see them both doing that from a midfield, from Eze from the left, from Ødegaard as a left eight, whatever it might be. And I really, really hope, and we did see it in that 20-minute cameo against Newcastle, I really hope that there are times this season where Arteta says, do you know what, we don't need Zubimendi and Rice today. We'll go with Rice or Zubimendi as the six, and we'll play Eze and we'll play Ødegaard together as a midfield. West Ham could be a potential example of that because you know that they're just going to sit deep. Those two together just play football, in my opinion, the right way. And when they're on form, we're just going to keep creating chances like we've seen in the last couple of games.
Indeed. Matt, one of the things that Wayne just talked about was the skipper's sort of vision and the pass against Newcastle, as you can see there in his cameo to Lewis-Skelly. There were a couple more examples of that on Wednesday night. And I've picked the title here that he is looking stronger and physically more ready. He does seem fitter. He seems quicker on the ball. I don't know if that's just like a very small sample size, but he does to me. Obviously, people talking about his haircut, but he feels freer. And I think this is the most important point for me. I think when he came on against Newcastle, said this in the match reaction video, which was really popular, by the way, on the channel feed. If anybody missed that or the match reaction to last night, do check it out. Thank you for watching them. He seems to be playing like someone who has been freed of the burden of trying to be the sole person to create things for Arsenal. without the runners through the middle because he had Mikel Merino for like 2 or 3 months. Like now he's got Viktor Gyökeres, who is a proper centre forward, who is, we'll talk about Viktor in just a second, but he's making space, Viktor, by sort of absorbing pressure from the defenders for our wide players. He has Ezra on the pitch, who is also going to be creative minded. So defenders are not going to all be huddled around him and Saka. They're going to be sort of trying to mark Ezra, trying to mark Saka, trying to mark Ødegaard. So there's space for Ødegaard to exploit. And we've seen that already in the last, let's say, 100 minutes of football from the captain. Do you think that's played a part? And I guess my other question to you, Matt, is it is crucial, isn't it, that he gets back to his best if we have any chance of winning the Premier League title this year?
Oh, to answer your last question, it's so important to have Martin Ødegaard fit and firing in this squad. He's one of the best players in our team when he's fit and firing, and I think he has come back to a level. I think maybe we underestimated how unfit he was last season and how that injury affected him, because that wasn't Martin Ødegaard. We all know how Martin Ødegaard plays, and look at him so far this season. That's a player that's completely different to the player we saw last season. What has also helped him, I think, is you mentioned it there. He is freer, I think, in terms of a tactical setup as well. I think he's not being chained to the right half space, if you will. He's being allowed to go to the left, to be able to go a bit deeper, to be a bit freer in his role, and I think he's flourished on that. I think against Olympiacos, he was definitely on the left a bit more than we've usually seen him, and it allowed him to play those through balls to Viktor Gyökeres, and that's exactly what we're going to need him to do. And he is such a great player to watch when he's on song. I think there are better players at Arsenal than him, Saka, Saliba, Declan Rice, but I don't think there are better players to watch when they're at their best than Martin Ødegaard. And I really hope that, because if we have a great Ødegaard for all of this season, we will be really, really beneficial, and we will be up there for all the honours no matter what this season.
I want to just pick you up on one thing and ask if you think the reaction's been fair from the fan. You describe Ødegaard, I was going to say Ertata. I don't know what's going through my head. You describe Ødegaard as one of our best players. Do you think the criticism that he has received from both the media and some of our very own over the last sort of year or so has been warranted, Matt? And what do you make of it?
No, obviously opinions are completely valid and they can think what they want, but I never thought it for a single second. You don't throw away a player of his quality in his first bad form. And the form was bad for a while, but if he was not a good player anymore, the 2 games we've just seen him play, he would not be able to do them anymore. So there's clearly a great player there, which clearly means that that reaction was overblown. And I think we needed to consider the context. Maybe he wasn't 100% fit. Maybe playing with Mikel Merino, Leandro Trossard, and Gabriel Martinelli, who we can't make changes to them for months. Maybe that was restricting to him as well. Now, he's played with a different front three pretty much every week. Like when he's played, obviously he's had his injury issues as well this season. It's just, I always thought it was quite harsh, and me and Wayne would have many a discussion about it on our podcast. In terms of, I always thought it was quite harsh. Wayne was saying he was a bit more critical of him, and that's completely fair. But I always backed him. I've loved him as a player, and I thought it was a reaction that was a bit too strong.
Vig says people wrote him off because of one bad season, forgetting the fact that he was our player of the season for 2 years in a row. Dave coming in saying, look, it was clear that Ødegaard wasn't quite fit and rushed back last year. The operation during the off-season confirmed it. Look, Wayne, you don't have time at Arsenal Football Club to have a few months off it. And I think one thing that cost Arteta and Arsenal and maybe even Ødegaard is that we just didn't have the depth. We've now got Ethan Nwaneri. Last year was his breakout season, who seems to be, I guess, sort of in and out of the squad. Like he's not really getting a consistent run. Max Damon, obviously a young boy, but now that Ezra has come in, it feels like Ødegaard can be freer. And it feels like, the pressure is not so much on him. And he looks like he's just going to enjoy his football again. And a lot of people have said in the chat, he just needs to be free, he needs to roam, be that number 10. What do you expect from Ødegaard this season, Wayne?
Yeah, that's absolutely true on the pitch. But I also think he's in a place where he can be free, not playing as well. Like last season, especially, just because he was a body and he could run, he was being chucked out there when in reality he probably shouldn't have been. And even if he was 100% healthy last season, he didn't look it. But even if, let's say he was, his performances didn't warrant him being in the team as regularly as he was last season. But because of the situation we was in, he had to be. This year, it doesn't matter whether he's 100% fit or not. There's no guarantee him or really anyone is starting any game this season. And that's how it should be, especially at a top team. So we're in a position where we can play him when he's 100% fit. We don't have to risk him at 60, 70% fitness. We don't have to play him for 90 minutes every single game. We can bring him off the bench and he can make the difference. Like, think about the St. James Park context. We were losing to Newcastle. We took Saka off. The fan base was in uproar. But it was the right thing to do, considering he was just back from an injury and we don't want to be in the same situation we was in again. We brought Ødegaard on, fresh from an injury for 10 minutes. He completely made the difference. So I expect from him a lot more of what we've seen in the last 2 games. I don't think he'll ever get back to the level of the 15 goals that he scored a couple of seasons ago. And I'm okay with that because I don't think that needs to be his role. I don't think that needs to be what he does. I don't think that's really him as a player. But freeing himself up on the pitch, being able to move to the left, to the right, linking up with Eze, linking up with Saka, it's great because in the last couple of games especially, we've just looked a lot more fluid than we have done in recent years. And I think the type of players we've got now, the Sakas, the Ødegaards, the Ezes, even Madueke's, guys like that, Zubimendi, fluid football, I think really, really helps them. And I just hope that continues for the rest of the season.
Indeed, and as so many people have said in the chat, the squad is stacked. We have been waiting ever so patiently for a year like this where Ødegaard doesn't play, Eze comes in. Havertz doesn't play, Viktor Gyökeres comes in. Saka doesn't play, Noni Madueke comes in. Like, defensively, we didn't really know much about Christian Mosquera, but what we've seen in a very short space of time is so promising. Ben White doesn't play for months. Jurrien Timber, don't worry, hold my latte. I am the best right back in the game. I will just basically take his place. Left back wise, Piero Hincapié, just a cherry on the Bakewell tart. Like, mate, I don't even know what to say about this squad anymore, but I want to see the skip back. I want to see him thriving. I would challenge you. I think that he can go as good as that 15-goal season. I don't think he needs to. I think you're right. But I think what I've seen in the very last couple of games, he just looks like he's enjoying his football. And when you see him make the passes, and he's done that 3 or 4 times now in the last couple of games, it's super exciting. There were a couple of people earlier who sort of, shades of Mesut, but the chat was going too fast for me. Let's move away from the skipper. Let's talk about Viktor Gyökeres. Look, the stats on the left-hand side. This was, again, the game at Newcastle. Top speed, fastest player on the pitch, most intensive runs, most number of sprints, most touches in the opposition box, and most shots away on goal, courtesy of Arsenal.com. Courtesy of Opta Analyst, our partners, for our graphics on the bottom left. You can see his touch map throughout the season. And I think this is quite an important point because he's not just hanging around the goal area. He's working immensely hard for the team. And, you could see like the sort of running behind, that familiarity at St. James's Park where he's anticipating, he's constantly running in behind, almost got that penalty. And I'm sure you guys have all heard the VAR audio today, which was diabolical. But again, Matt, let's bring you back in. The noise around Viktor Gyökeres is, facts are facts. He scored 3 goals in 8-9 appearances for the club. And there's a lot of people out there, whether rightly or wrongly, that will decide whether his output is good enough based on pure output like that. But my challenge to that is that if you have eyes and you are watching a football game and you anticipate and you analyze every touch that a player has and the positions that he picks up and the role that he's having in terms of connecting the team and distracting defenders and, creating chances in space, I love what I see, Matt. What are your thoughts?
The last 2 games with Viktor Gyökeres, I think have been his best games since he's come in, and he hasn't scored. but he has been involved. He has been strong. He has been a willing runner. He's linking up with his teammates much more. And he's also been having chances and shots. The graphic here says he had 6 shots against Newcastle. I would be more worried about Viktor Gyökeres if he wasn't involved and he wasn't having any shots like he was when he first started here. You know, the Manchester United game was a tough one for him. He barely featured. He barely got any of the ball. But in the Newcastle game, which is a very physically tough game, he was around, he was busy, he was strong, he was up for the fight. And the same with the Olympiacos game. And he was unlucky not to score in that game as well. And I think in the Newcastle game, that could have been it might have been a sliding doors moment for him. He wins that penalty, which it should have been a penalty. We all know that. He wins that penalty, he probably takes it, and he probably scores it. And what a difference that would have made, him scoring his first away goal for Arsenal in a big game, at a big ground. I think people criticizing him need to just lay off him at the moment. I think he's perfectly fine. He's looking stronger every single week. And I think that the upcoming fixtures are the ones where he should hopefully bag some goals. They're the ones that we're looking at him and thinking, you're the man that we brought in to score goals against those teams, not the big games. In these games, the games where we should be beating the opponent, there's 10 men behind the ball, 11 men behind the ball, and we need you to make the difference. They're the games that I want him to get goals, and hopefully he can. But I think the last few games have been encouraging. He's looking stronger and in the side every week.
Wayne, Met talks about Newcastle being a very physical team, which we all know, and we know the spice and the needle between the two sides. I think what I love more than anything about Viktor Gyökeres is how I think one of the comments Vive Lad said earlier, what I love about him is his relentlessness. He just doesn't stop. But that's in terms of his movement and play. What I love is that I think he really relishes the challenge, the physicality. And if you think about what Gabriel Magalhaes does at the back and how, you know, I can imagine Gabriel looking forward to playing Erling Haaland tomorrow, for example. I can imagine him looking forward to playing any brute of a centre forward. What I love about Gyökeres is that he gives as good as he gets. I mean, their defenders had hands on faces, and they were pushing him down, and you know, shoulder to shoulder, giving it the big. The guy he loves it. He just wants to go in again. He wants to barge defenders around. He wants to drag defenders across. He wants to, you know, chest them, shoulder them out of the way. He wants to stamp on them, stomp on them, climb over them, like grapple with them. I love that. You?
Yeah, it's been good to see him adapt to the Premier League quite well. And I think that there were a lot of questions when he joined about sort of him going up against Premier League centre-backs, whether he'd be able to not only take on that physicality, because look, you see how big and strong and quick he is. It's just a case of how will he deal with the James Tarkowskis of the world, the Dan Burns of the world, defenders like that. And I think he's standing up to them pretty well. And I think he's excelling at the things that we didn't really think he could excel at. Like, I think his link-up play has been much better than a lot of us would have anticipated. I think some of his play with his back to goal has been much better than we've anticipated. But you say that he relishes that challenge. You say that he relishes going up against those defenders. One thing we know for a fact is he relishes more scoring goals. So I think that needs to come with it. And I think the harsh reality is that he's a striker that we've brought in for 60 odd million. He's gone blank in 7 of the 9 games that he's played in so far. And when you look at it like that, it's not the best. Now, like you, I agree. I have eyes. I don't think he's played badly at all. And I actually like a lot of what I've seen from him. So I'm not criticizing him. I'm not saying anything negative about him in that sense, but he does need to score. And I think that for me, and I've said it on this show time and time again, and we'll talk about West Ham, we brought him in for this stretch of games, the West Hams, the Fulhams, the Brightons, the Brentfords. This is where I hope he racks up those numbers, because you're acclimatized to the league now. Yes, you can deal with the centre-back challenge. Now we need you to stat pads, basically. We need you to do what you've done against Leeds. We need you to rack up the goals against West Ham, because these are the games, really, that we struggle in the most, where we have one or two chances and we didn't have someone to bury it. Now, these are the games which really puts our title credentials on the line, because these are the games that we've come unstuck in previous seasons. And hopefully this is where he can go on a run of hopefully 3 or 4 games, scoring a goal every other game, even going consecutive sort of goal, and just putting the ball in the back of the net, because we've seen how disappointed he is when he doesn't do it. I don't know if you saw the clip of Saka scoring against Olympiacos. He was livid because he was open for the tap-in. And that's nothing against Saka. Like, we all love Saka scoring, but he wants to score. So yeah, this next stretch of fixtures, keep doing what you're doing, but hopefully that comes with goals alongside it as well.
Let's hope so. Maybe he can score 10 against Kyra at home in the Champions League. Who knows? DJ D10 says, I think this is a great play. I'm sure he's going to get over the 20 goal mark in the league, perhaps 30 across all competitions. And he says Gyökeres just really impressed me with his overall play, which was unexpected. That chance on Wednesday when he cut in and skied it was a bit concerning, though. Tim Merrick, welcome to the show, says he is improving. Let's see where he is in a few months' time. I thought his touch would be far better. Alex says, I understand your logic, Fazal, but we need goals. I believe the goals will come, but we don't want another Havertz. We got Gyökeres for the goals. Total joins similar sort of sentiment. Now, FK, we didn't sign him to do the Kai Havertz crap. He needs to score goals. You guys are too brainwashed with the donkey work striker here. He needs to score. Goalless runs count as poor form. Wow. Manny says, keep giving him the ball in behind and on the half term. Feed the Gyök. We've got to back him, says J Dime. DJD10 says he's a goal scorer. He needs service. We are getting there. The connectivity will come. The team are looking for him and they are finding him. And that is going to be very exciting. J Dime says he's going to score tomorrow. And Tanvir says Gyökeres needs to do more work on his first touch to unlock more chances for himself and his teammates. Interesting. Opinions are always split, but those are our thoughts on Viktor Gyökeres. Let's move away to that and just sticking on the Newcastle game, chaps. Look at the picture on the bottom left. It's like you two on your podcast. Set Piece FC beginning to really, really get on people's nerves. And I just want to inject it even more. 45 corners we've had in this season already. We've got 18 shots away from those 45 corners, and we've scored 6 goals with Big Gabby rising in injury time at St. James's to give us the win. Nothing really to say here on this slide, chaps, apart from just how wonderful it feels to be top of the set piece league, but also to be effective, because it was once, of course, one of our most famous traits. Wayne?
Yeah, it's been fantastic that we've topped this league, like 3 years now. Set piece again, is a true thing with us. And do you know what? I have no issue with it this season, because it's not the only way that, especially in the last 2 or 3 games, it's not the only way we're creating chances. I think when it kind of gets a bit stuck and where it gets a bit disappointed is when we're only threatening from set pieces. But I don't think that that's been the case. And I don't expect that to continue to be the case when we get our best players back and when you start seeing all of our attackers on the pitch together. Like, we haven't had our first, what you would expect to be our first choice attack on the pitch really once together, for a consistent period of time. So yeah, I don't expect set pieces to be the only way that we can attack going forward, but having that option and being so terrifying from corners, like, everyone always says, do you know what? Coaches kind of know what to expect, or they can plan for set pieces. You can't plan for ours, because we've got about 6 or 7 guys in and around the box that are just so intimidating. And Gabriel at corners is just like what Sergio Ramos was for Real Madrid. When Real Madrid had a corner, you kind of knew, well, Sergio Ramos is either getting a header on this or he's intimidating them into some sort of mistake. Gabriel is so inevitable from our corners, and it's almost impossible to stop him when it's our ball into the box. So yeah, hopefully it continues. All of the hard work that we've done has been brilliant, and I think the best part about it this year is it's all coming from different people. Like, the top takers down at the bottom, Rice, Madueke and Saka. Obviously Saka's been injured, but you've seen Ødegaard got the assist at St. James Park, took some good corners as well against Olympiacos. So they're coming from all different players, which is brilliant. I know Martinelli's taken corners as well, so it's not just a case of Rice or Saka has to take them anymore.
No, indeed. And we are beating the first man, which used to be such a pain. Do you remember all those years watching that first man, bloody first man? Wayne V Vlad says we need to get Met, just to temporarily cover you there. V Vlad says need to get Andrea Berta to get a Nico Jova lifetime contract sorted. And Dan Alpha saying, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Big Gabby. I mean, what do you make of that, Metro, in terms of the sort of criticism that Arsenal are getting, and also the whole sort of, throw-ins are back in fashion now because it's Arsenal. Arsenal always going to get the stick, but now you're seeing lots of teams in the Premier League relying on set pieces.
I think when we are this good at set pieces, I don't think it is a criticism. If you're not creating chances and you're just relying on set pieces, then yeah, maybe it can be a criticism. But we're creating chances this year, and we're also scoring from set pieces. So it's a really good weapon to have, and especially when I think we've scored like 10 or 12 more goals compared to the next team since the start of last season. Like, that's not a team that's like getting lucky by scoring a set piece. That's a team that are really, really good at set pieces. So, and we've scored 6 goals from set pieces this year. It just shows how great we are. And it's the one thing I respect about Mikel Arteta is that he wants us to be great at every aspect of our game. There's like, I love Wenger, I do, and not to criticize him on FK show because he is your favorite, but it always did feel like Wenger didn't care about that sort of aspects of the game compared to letting players express themselves on the pitch in open play. Whereas I think Arteta, he's so detailed. He wants every aspect of our game to be the best in the world, and I respect that fully. And the set pieces are probably the best in the world, and that's full credit to Nicolas Jover and Mikel Arteta.
100%.
Do you know what? Do you know what I've loved this season though about the corners? Everyone's so focused in the middle. It's allowed us to work on short corners a lot more this season. And that's how some of our goals this year have come about as well. And I like that. I like having that variety because there was a time, maybe like 3 seasons ago or so, before we got really good at corners, that we would only take them short. And then we would take them short, lose the ball, and then it would be a counter the other way. But now everyone's so focused on Saliba, Gabriel, Marino, if he's on the pitch, Gyökeres in there, Timber, who scores goals from set pieces, that it allows us to take that quick short corner and get a better angle on the cross. So, yeah, I like that variety that we're offering this year as well.
Have either of you ever taken corners? Do you know how difficult corners are to take? Honestly, it's one of the hardest things in football. To do it with the consistency that Rice, Saka, Madueke do, I think is unreal.
Do you know what's harder? Taking a long throw.
Yeah.
And we've got about... We've got like 5 guys that have taken a long throw. I think Timber's taken one, White has taken one,
Calafiori,
Malzo Skelly took one in the Champions League. Rice, I think, has taken long throws.
Yeah, Rice.
I don't.
But honestly, they are 2 of the hardest things to do in football. Yet people criticize teams for it. Just one last thing I'll say on corners: there is an inevitability about Arsenal, and I think the more effectiveness that we have, and the more people see stats like this, we're getting a shot away almost 1 every 2 corners. We're scoring 6 from 45, a conversion of 1 in 9, right? So what that sort of means to me is that teams are going to over-assess, they're going to over-analyze, they're going to over-shit themselves every time we do it. And it's just a massive, massive thing to have. And this is something that's blown me away. You mentioned it, Wayne. Tyler says Ramos scored over 100 goals for Real Madrid.
Well, he took a bunch of penalties as well. No, he took penalties as well, didn't he? But
either
way, no, he scored a bunch of goals. I don't know if it was 100, but maybe it might have been.
Well, there's Ronald Koeman as well, didn't he?
He took set pieces as well.
Yeah,
he scored 101 goals.
Ramos took free kicks as well. Oh, let's get Gabriel on free kicks. That'll be fun.
That's insane.
Gabriel has the technique. Do you remember that goal he scored, the offside goal he scored against Bournemouth? Like, he has some technique to him.
Yeah. Wow.
Gabriel on penalties and free kicks. He'll break that.
DJD says that everyone is taking long throws now. What's up with the new trends? Of course, Arteta, your man, is doing them. Ray says long throws. The secret is use one hand more than the other. Okay, there you go. Ragamuffin says Rice is such a good dead ball technique. Yeah, look, free kicks, but also corners. Corners are really difficult to take, mate. I'm telling you, one of the hardest things to do in football. When you do it with such consistency and such precision, and the execution of it must take hours and hours on the training ground. Thanks for that. Really appreciate that. Still to come, we're going to look ahead to the West Ham game. But before we do that, let's have a look at the next 5 fixtures. Now, we did this at the start of the season, Wayne, when opting after Old Trafford, Opta basically analysed, and they said that Arsenal had the second hardest sequence of 5 games. Crystal Palace had the hardest, and they are flying at the moment. But our next 5, as you can see on screen, Wayne, are, according to Opta, the easiest 5 fixtures of them all. And I've just realised,
have you met Arsenal?
Yeah, I've used the same Arteta picture from the first from 5 weeks ago, whatever it was. So hopefully, I'm still laughing and he's still smiling. But I mean, look, do you look into this stuff? Because it's a valid question. Because at the start of the season, we looked at the first 6 games. I remember me, you, and Yem sort of saying, "Oh, it'd be nice to get maybe sort of 10, 11 points out of 18." You know, it's Old Trafford. We've got the nemesis there. You've got St James's. You've got City at home. It Leeds' first game since sort of promotion. Now I look at these 5 and think, okay, well, look, this is a really good run of games. This is where, like you said earlier, you know, we bought Viktor Gyökeres to play exactly these teams and to get the goals and get the points on the board. What do you make of this?
I pay attention to them, but I don't really take it in. Like I don't really acknowledge it as much, because I think it leaves out a lot of context, especially where Arsenal are concerned. Because you look at these 5 fixtures, and yeah, on paper they're probably the easiest, but historically, especially under Arteta, when we've been good, these are the types of games we come unstuck, and these are the types of games that we really struggle in. Like we've lost to West Ham the past 2 years at the Emirates. We somehow managed to. If it was at the London Stadium, I'd be telling you right now we're probably going to score 6, because that's what we do there. But at the Emirates, they come and they give us trouble. Like we've not found a solution in the past years to break them down. Fulham away, another team. I don't remember the last time we beat them at Craven Cottage. It might have been 3 years ago. I think we drew there last year, lost there the season before. It's a tough side. Crystal Palace being the easiest potential, if I'm understanding that graph correctly, that's disrespectful to them. They're 19 games unbeaten. They just, in all competitions, going back to last season, they were a very good side, and they're coached really, really well. Burnley, no offense, I expect that to be easy. And Sunderland have started life in the Premier League really, really well. So, yes, on paper, we should be looking to get as close to maximum points as possible. And if we are the squad that I think we are this season, and we've learned from the mistakes, and we play sort of through the middle a lot more, play a bit quicker, I think we should be in a position where we're making it a little bit easier this year. But I don't think it is as easy as these stats are telling us, because history will let you know that, yeah, West Ham has not been favourable to us in the past couple of years.
It really hasn't. West Ham, of course, have won their last 2 games at the Emirates Stadium, but they have conceded the most goals from set pieces this season. That bodes well for us. Matt, look, we can't look into things like this, but Opta analysts, they crunch the numbers, and this is what they do, and they showed that our opening 6 games were very difficult. They're saying that our next 5 are going to be much favourable on paper. But like you say, and like Jonathan says, look, every team, 3 points, can't relax now and undo all of the hard work in the tougher fixtures that we've had. V Vlad saying, look, it's our time. Sorry to cover you temporarily. I need to get a new layout here on StreamYard, so you don't do that on a Friday. I need to work on that. V Vlad says, it's our time. Need to build up a lead after these 5. DJ D10 just coming back to us on Victor saying, get a full house. Let's show him. Tanvir saying, Fulham away will be tricky. I mean, look, I look at those fixtures. I think, right, West Ham United at home, new manager bounce. Fulham away, difficult. Palace unbeaten in a gazillion games. Burnley away, well, it's Burnley. And Sunderland, Granit Xhaka FC. I mean, we might come out of those with 5 L's. But no, Matt, you can only beat what's in front of you. But this is an opportunity for Arsenal to put somewhat of a run together.
100%. Like every game has context. Wayne is 100% right. Every game does have a bit of context to it. But yes, these are games that we should be looking to go on a run. These are games that we should be trying to get maximum points from. And when you consider, the next 3 games, Fulham at home, West Ham at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home. We picked up 2 points from those 3 games last season. This is a good opportunity for us to get points where we dropped them last season and improve on that tally that we got on last season. And West Ham at home, yes, they're going to have that new manager bounce, and Nuno, I assume is much better at set pieces compared to Graham Potter. But it's an opportunity, and it's an opportunity for this team to now get some to build up for the fixtures coming up into the new year, and hopefully go on a run. That's what we need to do. We got out of the so-called hard fixtures. We're now going into a bit of an easier one where hopefully we can go on a bit of a run. But no, the team will be taking every game seriously, as they should, and the fans should be as well. Yes, they're easier, but there are no easy games. There are no bankers in the Premier League, and we just need to do our job and do it well, hopefully.
Dan Fry says, evening, gents. I'm so late. Damn. Yeah, well, look, there are hundreds of you watching live on YouTube right now. If you are enjoying the content, please do subscribe and set your notifications on so you won't miss a show. But welcome, Dan. Terence Tibbs is in the house as well. Arsenal Granny says, I expect 15 points from this next run. And to the contrary, to the other end of the spectrum, look at Liverpool. Second off the top there in terms of hardest fixtures, and you can see they have Chelsea away tomorrow. Importantly, after our game, we've got a bit of an opportunity to put a little bit of pressure on them. 2 defeats in 2 for Arne Slot's men. Maybe the Klopp memory muscle memory, sorry, has basically expired. And then they play Manchester United at home, which we know is normally a walk in the park for most teams, but it is United, and they do raise their game in the biggest fixtures. Brentford away, Villa at home, and then City away. I mean, there is a chance, chaps, to really do something here in terms of gathering points and watching Liverpool fall away. But let's wait and see. Let's move on very quickly. I mean, I was going to get Yems and your thoughts on this, Wayne, but what a weekend it was last weekend. A gargantuan generational hate watch Saturday, which saw Brentford pump Manchester United, Chelsea get pumped at home to Welbs' Brighton, and then, of course, Eddie Nketiah. Injury time. What a finish. And before you start, I gave him his flowers. Everyone knows I'm not keen on Eddie. Everyone knows that I wasn't keen on Eddie when he was at Arsenal, but he fully deserved that moment. I was so happy for him, and of course, so happy for us. Your defense is in trouble. Let's not start that. But this weekend, we have some fixtures, and this is what it looks like. It is match week 7 in the Premier League. League table, first of all, on the left-hand side. Liverpool are, of course, top, but we play before them tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff, as you can see on the right-hand side, courtesy of PremierLeague.com. We have a chance to go top, albeit temporarily, because Liverpool will be away at Stamford Bridge. Crystal Palace continue their really good season. Of course, the league table has changed after tonight. Bournemouth, obviously, they're the winner at home to Fulham. They are now in second place. They're doing so well until we nab Antoine Semenyo in January. Manchester City are in 7th. Chelsea are in 8th. 9th for Everton, doing really well. Jack Grealish looks really good. And Brighton are in 10th. Brighton, of course, our opposition in the 4th round of the League Cup. Fixtures this weekend. So we've seen Bournemouth beat Fulham, coming from behind to win 3-1. Leeds host the Scum tomorrow. That's the early kickoff. Arsenal play West Ham at the Emirates. United at home to Sunderland. I'm hoping Granit Xhaka can put more pain on Manchester United, who are going to stick with Ruben Amorim. Music to our ears. Chelsea at home to Liverpool as the 5:30 kickoff. And then a big collection of games on Sunday with Manchester City away to Brentford. Wayne, just off the cuff, Premier League is back. You've not been on for a couple of weeks. How much are you looking forward to tomorrow's game?
A lot. I love our 3 o'clock kickoffs. I like when we can get our business kind of done away from the hate watchers' eyes. I know that some hate watchers still find a way around it, but it allows us to kind of just go about our business quietly. And I think that this is, like you said, a real opportunity to put a little bit of pressure on Liverpool. They've lost 2 in a row. I'm sure that their fans are looking at the fact that we've lost at West Ham the past 2 years and thinking, yeah, this is a good opportunity where Arsenal might slip up. And in previous years, we might have done. In previous years, we haven't necessarily been the most mentally strong in these situations where we can put down a little bit of a marker. Nothing sort of major, not like impactful statement, but just like a little jab. We throw a little jab here and see if Liverpool can bounce back, because them travelling to Stamford Bridge is not the easiest game at all. I think Met told me a little bit earlier that they've not won at Stamford Bridge for the past 4 seasons. So there's a real opportunity that they might drop some points there. So, yeah, let's just go about our business. Hopefully it's a decent day, because obviously today was very, very wet, windy and a bit chilly. I know that it's kind of October and winter's coming, but yeah, just don't give West Ham favourable conditions and we should be all right.
Metro, just before we talk about starting lineups and predictions, this is the team that played our last Premier League game at St James's Park, and there is the subs bench. But I want to just go through some of the highlights of the press conference that was today. Mikel Arteta, his 300th game in charge of Arsenal tomorrow, which is going to be a phenomenal milestone. Hopefully we get the win. He talked about a number of things. He opened, I think, by talking about Gabriel's injury, not too concerned about it. Piero Hincapié, I think the game tomorrow has come too soon for him, but he will be available after the international break, which is quite exciting. No new updates on Kai Havertz, Noni Madueke, Gabriel Jesus, who obviously continue to recover from their injuries. There was some interesting stuff about Thomas Tuchel saying that, certain players aren't going to play if they don't, play football. I think Noni Madueke, if he was fit, Saka wouldn't get into the team. Tuchel, you are chatting nonsense, mate. That is waffle. Saka is the best player England have. Crazy, crazy man. Tomorrow will be Arteta's 300th game in charge. He just said he had no idea how long he would be in charge at Arsenal. And the only thing that he can say is thank you to the fans and how much he's sort of enjoying it. And it is also Bukayo Saka's 200th game tomorrow for Arsenal, which is, again, also absolutely insane. Jonathan Kay says, wow, 300 games already. He's been here a while. He has been here a while. He needs to deliver. But Metro, your thoughts on the match tomorrow? Nuno Espirito Santo has been in post. They got a point at at the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Monday. Lots of people have been talking about new manager bounce, but they are absolutely awful, aren't they, Met? You're confident of 3 points?
Yes, I'm confident because I'm a little bit less confident because they've got rid of Graham Potter. If it was Graham Potter, I would have sat back in my deck chair and just been like, it's easy 3 points. So, but Nuno is a better manager, but he hasn't been there long. It's very similar to when Forest sacked Nuno and appointed Ange. So there will be some hiccup because obviously they will play differently, but I think we are. They don't have the best squad. I think we have a really good squad now that's had players coming back to fitness and in form. We should be really confident in this game. There's also potential. You mentioned Bukayo Saka 200th appearance for Arsenal. There's a potential for him to get his 100th goal involvement tomorrow. So if he gets a goal or assist, it's 100. Goal involvements in 200 games, so that's a real
insane.
Yeah, it's real opportunity. He's also, if he makes his
not bad for a left back, eh?
Yeah. He's also the seventh. He will be the 7th youngest player to make 200 Premier League appearances ever. Wow. So it's a real special game, and obviously Mikel Arteta 300 games, like. Who would have saw that in 2021, like him getting to this point? So, I mean, and his win record as well, amazing. But yeah, I'm confident with tomorrow, and I can't wait to see it. 3:00 on a Saturday is nothing better.
Well, Wayne, we have lost only 4 times in our last 42 home Premier League games. Half of those defeats coming to West Ham. Yeah. And they have come in the last 2 seasons back to back. So, but we pumped them away. I think it was 5-2 last season, 6-0 the year before, the other way around. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So away from home, not a problem. But at home, we need to get the points tomorrow. And it's important because we're playing a couple of hours before Liverpool play at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. It's important for that, but it's also important when you look back to last season. Met said from the next 3 games, we only took 2 out of 9 points. Like, you can't take 2 points from West Ham, Fulham, and I can't remember the third team that we're facing. Who was?
Palace.
Oh, Crystal Palace at home. Yeah, Crystal Palace at home. You can't take 2 out of 9 points and expect to be Premier League champions. But I think the big thing for me, I'm big on comparing sort of corresponding fixtures to last season. And obviously we beat Newcastle, which we didn't do last year. We're currently +1 or +2 on corresponding fixtures last year. If we go through and we beat West Ham, we beat Fulham, we've caught up the point deficit to last year's Liverpool already, and it's so early in the season. Now, granted, Liverpool can go on and get more points, but that's really impressive from us that we're overturning those results, and that's what we have to do. These are the games, really, where you win and lose the Premier League. Not specifically West Ham tomorrow, you have to win the Premier League, but this group of games, these batches, this is where you really kind of prove your title credentials, because we've been great against the top 6 for the past 3-4 years, and it's brought us nothing. And it's brought us nothing because we've struggled against these types of teams. But you take maximum points from this next batch of 3, then yeah, you're well in the conversation.
Indeed. Right, let's go through the lineup and start thinking about score predictions before we wrap up the show. The screen shows the team that we played at St James's. We made 6 changes against Olympiacos, but look, we're all expecting David Raya to keep goal, presumably tomorrow. He's been fantastic this season. Neither of you are going to disagree with that. Jurrien Timber to come straight back in. Ben White got an hour on Wednesday night, but Timber is very much the number 1 right back at the moment. I think you're both nodding in agreement. Defensively, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, presumably. No changes there, unless there's any sort of risk of knocks or whatever, and Arteta wants to keep it fresh. Maybe Christian Mosquera comes in for either of the two, to be quite fucking honest with you. Christian Mosquera has been absolutely outstanding this season. So the first change, do you keep Miles Lewis-Skelly in, or does Ricky Calafiori come straight back in for you, Wayne?
I'd bring Miles Lewis-Skelly in. I thought he was really good against Olympiacos, and I think that Calafiori's had a couple of average games, a bit disappointing at times. So yeah, for me, I would bring Miles Lewis-Skelly in, who I thought was very, very good in midweek.
Interesting. Matt, would you disagree or would you agree with that?
No, I would agree. Like, I think Miles was brilliant against Olympiacos, and I think Calafiori, yeah, he started the season really well, but he sort of had a bit more of a steady to sort of average, a few appearances, if I'm being harsh. And yeah, I think no one's place is certain, so let's bring Lewis-Skelly in.
Well, Jared Bowen, of course, is going to be on that side. And so for me, Miles Lewis-Skelly is very, very difficult to run past. I think Ricky Calafiori likes to go high up more often. So maybe Miles Lewis-Skelly is going to be that guy. I mean, I know Miles Lewis-Skelly likes to invert and tuck into midfield, but I find Ricky Calafiori is always on the edge of the opposition box. And so
I don't know if Bowen's going to play. Isn't he going to play up front?
Who they got up front? I don't even know.
Well, they've played him. Haven't they played him up front the last couple of games? And they've played Somerville. Well, then again, Nuno's come in and changed. But
yes.
Somerville, Paqueta, and someone else.
Yeah, you've got Callum Wilson, haven't they?
Yeah, Callum Wilson's not been starting, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he started. Oh, did he? Fair enough.
Fulkrug was up front. Bowen on their right-hand side, so facing Lewis-Skelly, and Somerville on their left-hand side with Fernandes, not Bruno, obviously, and Paqueta in central midfield. So Fulkrug is their centre forward. Alex Belotti says Bowen versus Calafiori could be a good battle. Yeah, I think for me, this is more about managing load and keeping players fit and ready, like Miles Lewis-Skelly, but also just protecting the likes of Calafiori, who we know has had sort of injury problems. So, you know, really pleased with what Calafiori is doing so far. But I think give Miles Lewis-Skelly this game, and then maybe Calafiori comes in for the next one. In midfield, do you, I guess, play Eze and Ødegaard and just go with one sitter, either Rice or Zubimendi, or what are you both doing? Matt, what are you doing tomorrow in midfield?
Zubimendi and Rice, I think it's quite simple. And then you play Ødegaard as well. So I think you play the big guns basically in midfield. So Zubimendi, Rice, and then Ødegaard a bit further forward. Even
though Declan Rice hasn't played that well in both of those defeats against his former club over the last couple of years.
He hasn't. There is some sort of weird thing with him at home. Yeah, at home against West Ham. I don't know exactly what it is. He gave away a penalty in the first game he faced against them, didn't he? So,
and they were really bad performances, Matt. Like amplified, like just you couldn't recognize that it was Declan Rice. For that reason alone, would you maybe consider taking him out of the line tomorrow?
I think you've just got to back him at this point. I don't think you can do that with a player, and especially a player of Declan Rice's quality. And I think he's an important player, and he should be able to. He's a world-class player. It doesn't matter who you face. Like, not to be harsh, but like, yeah, you left West Ham 3 years ago now, so you should be over it at this point. Like, it's just, yeah, I play Zubimendi, Rice, and Ødegaard in midfield.
Interesting. Wayne, what's your midfield tomorrow?
I'd love to see us go Ødegaard as a +1, but we're never going to do that.
So you reckon Zubimendi, Rice, and Ødegaard in the middle?
Yeah.
And then potentially, I mean, I guess we're all three of us unanimously saying, look, Saka on the right, Gyökeres through the centre, and I think it's the left wide forward that's probably up for debate. So are you both edging towards Eze?
I don't think it's up for debate. It's Eze.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be up for debate anyway.
Really?
Yeah,
I fancy Martinelli tomorrow.
No, not from the start. He's been very good off the bench. Olympiacos, he was good.
Metro's disgusted. He's like, just.
No.
I'm sorry,
This is a game for
Eze
Eze and Ødegaard. This is a game for Eze and Ødegaard.
As much as Martinelli has done well the last few games, we started him against Olympiacos. He played pretty much the majority of that game. We shouldn't play him here. And effectively, he's at the moment the Saka backup, isn't he? Because like I know Dalman is there, but let's be real, he's not like he's going to get minutes, but he's not going to be starting. Martinelli is the sort of Saka backup at the moment, so I would play Eze left. Like it's a no-brainer for me. Play Eze and Martin Ødegaard's. Try and have some fun.
Martinelli's going to have no space in this game, and that's where he's not at his best. So
well, quite. That's what John has just said. Not Martinelli against a low block FK, although D-Day Spring thinks it should be Martinelli, Saka, and Gyökeres. Yeah, listen, I think Eze and Ødegaard could play. I think in a team like tomorrow, West Ham are 19th. They are dreadful. Maybe Martinelli comes off the bench. Who's still got Trossard on there as well. Marino on there also. I just think we need speed and a runner on the left-hand side. But then Eze is obviously not a bad player at all. Right, there you go. So no real changes. The subs bench will be stacked no matter what, and we will be there no matter what. So to wrap up the show, let me have your score predictions for Arsenal versus West Ham. Met, let's go with you as our guest tonight. What do you reckon is going to happen tomorrow? Give us a score prediction.
So on the Can You Believe It podcast, I said 3-1 because Wayne took 2-0. So now I'm going first, so I'm taking 2-0.
What?
Very good.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm taking 2-0.
What's 2-0?
Yeah, I think it will be a good professional performance. I don't think we'll batter them 4-5-0. I think it will be 2-0, solid win, and I think Gyökeres will get one of the goals. So,
well, we've had lots of predictions so far, and I've got to say the first 4 out of 4 are all 3-0. So, Wayne, what you got for us is V Vlad says 4-0 to the Arsenal. Gyökeres, Brace, Eze, and Saka.
Well, first of all, I'm going to put Met on blast because he's now saying, "Oh yeah, I'd start Miles Lewis-Kelly." But in that same recording where he's taken my score prediction, he said, "No, you're not starting Miles Lewis-Kelly. I'm starting Calafiori." So I don't know why he's changed his mind.
He's covering all bases. The game is the game. Brand management 101.
Yeah.
Secondly, are we wrapping up after 1 hour 17 minutes? We're normally on here for an hour 45 with Yem. What's going on?
Yembele talks for about an hour of it.
Score prediction. Well, yeah, I would have gone 2-0, but I can't now. So I'm gonna go 3-1. Jared Bowen will get a goal that annoys us. But yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1.
Same as Tangiru at 3-1. Tanvis says 4-0. Trevor Bibbin says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Gaming since 2010 says 4-0 to the Arsenal. Gaming, what is your name, man? I can't keep calling you Gaming since 2020. For fuck's sake, let's have some standards here. Vig says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Have a feeling Bowen scored. He took the word straight out of Wayne's mouth. Anajit says 4-0. Mohammed says 4-0. Manny says 2-0. I think in a season where we've only conceded 3 goals in all the games that we played, one of which was a sensational free kick. The other was a great cross. Poor defending from Gabby, but a good header from Voldemade, wherever you pronounce his name. And then Erling Haaland, of course, breaking through, and the machine just does what he does. I can't see West Ham scoring tomorrow, and I think it's going to be very, very comfortable for us. So I'm going to go for a big win. Not quite as what Elliot says on the Arsenal Vision podcast, but I'll go with a 4-0. Yeah, Ivor, he's got it about right. 3 or 4-0, but I fancy a 4-0. Rice is not getting a hat-trick, Paul. Come on. Wakey. He might, but if he does, I will send you a written apology, my friend.
If he does, I'll buy a Declan Rice shirt tomorrow. Mate, do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Arteta's going to Arteta. He might not even play him. Just take him out of the firing line. He was so bad in the last couple of home games. Wow, 6-0 did I just read? Whole milk. Welcome to the show. Right, I think we are going to leave it there. So 2-0.
3-1, and 4-0. That is what we're going to go for. And that is a great place to leave it. Thank you so much, everybody tuning in. Hundreds of you still watching live. If you've enjoyed tonight's show, even without Yembele, please do, of course, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video. It's a massive help to the channel. Really helps with the profile on YouTube. We're on our way now to 27,000 subs, which is insane. Thanks also to all of our Patreon members, channel members. Really appreciate you making time to join us on a Friday night. I know there's so many better things to be doing in life, but I enjoy your company and I love making the content. Special thanks to Metro, who was a replacement at the 11th hour, but I think he's done such a sterling job. I think we need to let Yem know his place. So, Met, I think, you might be getting the text next week, mate. But it's been fantastic to have you on. If anybody wants to follow Met, he's available at AFC Met. He is, of course, co-host of the Can You Believe It podcast that these two fine gents do. If anybody wants to congratulate Wayne on his new house and send him some love or send him some abuse for being a club level twat, he is available at WaynesWorld20 _. You deserve the abuse just for having the underscore. I hate that. I cannot tell you how much that underscore bothers me.
It's just not nice, is it?
I just have an irrational fear for the irrational sort of hatred for the underscore, but there we are. Thanks also for all the lovely comments coming through. Great job. Really appreciate it, Night. Congratulations to Wayne moving house. Beauty of the pencil says thank you so much. Karen, really appreciate that. Thank you. Look after yourselves. Hopefully tomorrow we will be back to top of the league, albeit temporarily. If we can beat West Ham, and Liverpool go to the bridge, and then it's just going to be game by game. We'll be back tomorrow with a match reaction straight after the game. So let's hope for the best, and hopefully hammer time. Bye for now.